G2 get the job done, but I want it to be competitive.
I'm expecting actually a rather competitive game here. I don't want to say that I'm pitching FearX as favourites, but especially if they can get off to a clean start here defensively, I don't actually see any reason why they can't go ahead and win this game.
Yeah. All right, let's head into the ban phase again. It's FearX on 8 bullets, G2 only on the 5, and that's.
But it's the wagering for me that's interesting, right? Only 1 on the board for FearX, G2
that's
2.
Probably the right way to go about it. And I know I said kind of in the previous game, right? With the way the wagering system works, it's almost like admitting defeat before you've even played, because it's essentially what you're kind of looking at is FearX have basically said, yeah, G2, we think they might be a little bit better than us, so we're not going to bet the 2 bullets. We're just going to go with the 1. And the way, though, in this matchup, for me, it's actually more not about, say, showing that weakness and just saying, okay, you know what? We've got 8 bullets. We've got a pretty good bundle going into day 3. We don't really need to put more in for the reload. We're pretty happy with what we've got. We'll just keep it at the 1. We'll play it safe. So I don't actually look at it too much as saying we're scared of G2. It's more just playing with the economy they already have. And of course, G2 kind of did something similar yesterday in that match against SSG. I don't think G2 were like, oh my god, we can't beat SSG.
Yeah.
But hey, they're a strong opponent. We respect that. We're going to put the 1 up, and that's why they're on 5.
So the mute off the board, probably the most standout ban of the 4 thus far. We'll see what kind of an impact that may have negatively on FearX and denying information from G2, who themselves are looking to actually lean pretty heavily into that ban already. And most notably the 0 and the Flores, both of which will benefit from less mute jammers scattered around. I mean, especially the Flores, right? Doki will be able to get in and clear any potential utility that may be scattered around. Perhaps brought in anticipation of a little bit more hard breach util, but I guess 2 BPCs will certainly be nice to deal with. Excited to jump into this game. There's a little bit of expectation in the air for FearX for what feels like the first time in maybe about 4 years.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, you don't want to go too soon, right? We only had 1 day yesterday and it was CAG.
Yeah, I know.
So you put the asterisk there.
But again, it's not a case of the result, it was more so the fashions.
Yep.
Right?
And for G2, I mean, even yesterday, to be fair, I mean, SSG are looking really good, and Nua's popped off in that match. There were still really good elements for G2. There's a little contact fight over towards Terrace, Coded just getting himself into a rather aggressive position, holds the close angle, instead gets off it, throws the goo mine, and these are one of the more tricky positions to play. And G2 are putting the pressure on, but to be fair, Coded's not really too scared, although he has fallen back through statue into VIP, and he is proving to be the nuisance at the moment.
So we'll see then the impact of these Flores drones as Doki sends one over towards backstairs, and with no mute jammers in play, he's free to gain a little bit of information and potentially deal with any utility, although I don't believe on this occasion he was able to find all that much. Probably seeking a deployable shield over towards the top of that staircase, but not in play. But what is in play is Coded, and he finds the opening kill in this match. Uno falls after he tries to make his way forward towards Terrace, and that means the diffuser now is on the deck. Doki responds though, but Good Boy also lands a blow. And so with that, FearX maintain their advantage, but it's only momentary. As Coded gets traded out, Rin is up close though in an unexpected position and gets a freebie. The diffuser once again on the floor.
Yeah, Alamal's still alive. I mentioned that because yesterday went 5 and 10. He's actually bottom 5 at the moment of the tournament in terms of EPS, so a good chance for him to maybe get involved early, but he can't quite get that kill onto Woogie Man, who was just sliding on by behind the bomb chassis, and elsewhere Doki ended up losing his life to Good Boy. And FearX with a solid start here in the opening round. G2, as soon as they started getting towards the site, FearX were very much ready for it and got themselves into a good position to fire back, landing their shots. And Alamau in a 1v3 opening round. Defense Sky without the kit. I mean, all the caveats are there. This is going to be incredibly unlikely, even for a player of his quality. Chokes a little bit on that gas babe as well, half health. And Rin smart, reposition, noticed that, he's gone over, and he's just watching that diffuser now. So he'll play contact, should get the kill, and does. Headshot, quick from Rin, and a good start for FearX.
A lot of scattered fights in that opening round, and many of which not favourable towards G2. FearX play the percentage, they land their shots, and in doing so, a rather straightforward round win.
I feel like Coded at the start is one to sort of highlight. When you're playing that terrace position, you got one on the rappel, you got one outside the doorway, and then you kind of immediate thought is to actually rotate, play the window close angle, expecting them to maybe go for a pinch, get one, fall back. But obviously that didn't happen, but it showed that he was active on the defense there, playing a rather key position and denying that entry for G2. And that's what you need to do if you're FearX. you actually need to make sure you don't fear your opponent. You need to actually say, you know what, we've only wagered the one bullet anyway. So we need to actually go in and say, let's play confident. There's not a lot on the line. You lose this match, and unironically, you're actually equal with G2 after 2 days. So, I mean, that's another part of this system that I kind of like in some ways because there's strategy behind it. If you wager 2 bullets, you might play a bit more conservative. You're a bit more scared. There's more on the line. You only wager the 1. Well, you can actually almost just play with freedom. And that's what I want to see from FearX. Quite honestly, State 2 have reload. I'm not fussed if they win or lose. I want to see them play with freedom and not look scared and, you know, kind of sitting on side and not wanting to be active because you're not going to win if you play that way. And again, the onus is on them. They're on defense, guys. They should win at least 4 rounds. So it's up to G2 to see if they can steal some here on the attack.
G2 looking to experiment further here on attack, and they bring the fuse this time around, this time to help dislodge utility over towards the main breach, and it appears to have been effective. 2 Burrell though from Good Boy, those Zoto canisters stalling out the breach for a little while longer. Another fuse charge to follow though, and that one is disrupted.
None of these fuses have gone off.
Yeah.
Good disruption from FearX, but main breach does end up getting opened by the Selma breaches.
Soaked up enough utility to then allow the Selmas.
It's small denial. And limits the potential now for Uno. It's only got 2 more cluster charges remaining. But, I mean, to be completely honest, the fuse is just there to kind of keep people off the wall, right? And just kind of keep them away and get that opened up a little bit easier for for Blaz. Which Blaz, by the way, was the highest rated EPS player for G2 in that loss against SSG. And on cue, it's not a curse, it's a blessing. He gets the opening kill, and never mind, there is that curse. No blessing without the curse. Now lost his life to Good Boy. Rin's already done his job with the Kaid, and, well, hello, Uno, straight in towards the side of first. They lost Laura at the exact same time while he was going down for that plan. They never really cleared anything out. That was a rush attempt from G2 that just ultimately failed.
Alamau and Doki are completely disconnected.
I'm confused there in terms of what is G2 trying to do in this round as a systematic team, because it seems, as you said, very disjointed.
I mean, it's all well and good to go for a sneaky plan attempt if the window is there and the coverage is good, but neither was really on offer.
Oh yeah, Doki on the day boss lurking T-room while they're trying to send it into office on the other side of the map. He ends up losing his life anyway, and this ends up being a nothing round for G2, and honestly, fair play to FearX. They've pretty much played this round perfectly. Oh, insult to injury. Like Batman jumping down, coated with the shotgun, puts an end to G2 in the second round, and it's 2-0 start for FearX. And some giggles in the background too. They're happy with this one.
You gave a little EPS fact in the previous round. Would you like another?
Sure.
So Nua's got MVP officially.
He did.
In the previous
play
day.
Deserved. And by the way, timeout while you're saying this.
I'm not sure if we're going to listen in, or shut up if we do. I don't believe we will. But Mephi was actually the highest rated player yesterday. 165.
I wasn't expecting that one.
He is currently the lowest rated player on the team at the moment, but yeah, an unexpected fun fact.
So looking at that, right? So looking at Mephi and Nuas from yesterday, because you've brought it up now, and I want to dive a little deeper into it. So 165 for Mephi, 162 for Nuas, who, as you said, got the official MVP of the day. 17 and 5 for Mephi, 16 and 7 for Nuas. But Nuas also went 4-0 on entry. Mephi went 2-0 on entry, had a 55% survival rate. Nuas actually only had a 36%. But he had a 91% cost to the 73% for Mephi. So it's kind of looking at some of the categories are sort of like one to Mephi, one to Nuas, etc. I would imagine because of also the opponent, Nuas playing against a stronger team in comparison to Mephi versus CAG. Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
I wasn't trying to make the case that
No, I know. You were just sort of mentioning that Mephi had a very good day as well yesterday.
For sure. So an early tactical timeout then from G2 will conclude. Looking to find success now, attacking into the tertiary of Barbecue and Kitchen. It's been a pretty uninspired attack from them. A couple of intriguing pocket picks in terms of those attacking operators, but seemingly not having as much impact as they would have liked. I mean, I say that, but the fuse, at least in the last round, was great. And then they went for a strange pocket play, heads-up play in terms of that plan. 2 players completely disconnected from the play. So not sure if there's a miscommunication or what exactly took place there for G2, but clearly enough for the tactical to be called. As they look to refocus here, understanding that getting rounds in this half is going to be a challenge, but they are critically important in setting up the second half.
The other thing as well to note is for G2, they actually get 2 timeouts in a row now. in theory, because you've got your tactical timeout, then into the way through the half ban phase where the coaches are able to talk as well. Which I like it. Personally, I think coaches should be able to talk more in esports in general. Loira almost losing their life to Woogie Man. That flash is going to come through. He can't avoid it.
He's going to die here.
And no, he has not died. He still isn't dead.
No.
And he gets out alive through drum. They've allowed the escape.
Oh, that hurts.
Elsewhere, Alamau did find the opening kill.
Oh, that's painful.
And you hear more shots ringing around the map. It's a scrappy one here on the tertiary round. Rin down in Geisha.
I mean, they've at least been able to find a momentary advantage with Rin on the ground, but a play like that onto Woogie Man, the failed clear, kind of sets the tone that G2 are not completely switched on at the moment.
They only need a couple of attacking rounds though, so you only have to switch on for enough times, but this is the tertiary site. This really should be the round in which G2 should be winning. Ooh. And Rin has dropped out. That might actually be a pickup. Now, Wookie's going to make the crossover through the window, which was covered by Blaz. He could not get that confirmation. It's a 4v4 again.
G2 have been a slither away from finding these kills on multiple occasions.
Red ping, Alamau, pistol out, can't hit the shot. They know there's one bot black stairs. Deployable shield's not going to matter. It's just a nuisance in the way.
He dies with $4K.
Alamau goes down.
I know it's Warden, but still, no util dump.
Mephi was ready for it anyway, but yeah, that's a nice kill with the shotgun. 60 seconds left. And the complex nature of this round, it's been a strange one. Back and forth, and G2 have been sloppy.
I mean, maybe you don't need the utility, you don't want to telegraph it, so I suppose in that respect kind of makes sense if they knew it was the Warden, but...
There's still other positions in which you can
and
use
there's no
those
trade potential. The
yeah.
trade potential is worse than any util.
And Laura's low, Blaz is low. You've got one flash. And no first floor control.
They have the win cons now are dissipated.
This is where you need 96 mechanical skill and probably 0 IQ. It doesn't really matter at the moment. You're just going to walk in and hit some headshots. That's a bulletproof camera as well, watching that stair position. I mean, you can keep opening these floors. It's not going to make a difference. You've got to plant downstairs, guys. Mephi does get caught. Big kill from Doki, trying to ignite his team down below. There's only 15 seconds left, though. So again, time's still a huge factor. Coded must stay alive. He was full health, now dead. And just like that, G2 can flip this round on the tertiary site. Blaz can plant inside a kitchen. Not a lot that FearX can do to deny it. Never mind, couple of kills. And even though this plant almost went down, FearX still take the round. Back and forth all the way through this third round, but it ends in one direction towards FearX finding another 3-0 start for them. Whew.
So the pressure then mounts massively for G2 off the back of their tactical timeout. Failure to convert, now staring down the barrel of a 3-round deficit, and the potential for even 2 attacking rounds now significantly decreasing on a map naturally very defender-sided.
We've kind of spoken a little bit about the bullets that have been wagered, but if G2 lose this, they're down to 3. That's dangerous territory to be in going into tomorrow.
And I think we both had them in our 8 to qual. Oh no, I did. Maybe you didn't.
I don't recall. I don't think I did. But I also had Liquid. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, I selected them to make the 8 with a big asterisk. That it depends on the G2 that we get at this event. How do they rock up and do they play to the best of their ability, or do we see a G2 that's disconnected? And at least at the beginning of this match, from what we've seen, and even to an extent what we saw yesterday, I feel like we're getting a bit more of the latter, unfortunately. Which is a disappointment, because we know just how great individually the majority, if not all, of the players on that roster are. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of those teams that, like, on paper, you're like, on paper, wow, okay, but the paper's not quite coming to fruition.
yeah.
It's not translating to performances in the server. But again, it's only 3-0. We did have the bans, by the way. The Ying taken off the board by FearX and the Tuberau from G2. Both operators, we've obviously seen some use in the opening 3 rounds for the respective teams.
Well, we saw Ying once round 3 and it had no impact, but
it's true.
I suppose FearX are banning it in anticipation for further play. Coded lurking down below in bedroom, so we'll keep an eye on that through this round and see if he's able to have impact we did see pretty heavy vert play from below last time out from G2, and so he's positioned there, ready and waiting to take a fight, or maybe two down below. But honestly, on the flip side, G2 didn't find a lot of success, so they may not elect to go for that, and instead elect to be horizontally more aggressive.
Yeah, Rin was very close to getting that denial over towards Makeup. Is it fair to say, though, for G2, their attacks so far have been just rather disjointed? That's a freebie. Alamau has actually snuck his way in over on the VIP side now through Drag, and Good Boy had no idea on the Vigil, who kind of wanted to play a similar role, but on the defense, lost that battle. That's a big loss for FearX. Down a player now. Alamau may be expecting reinforcements on the flank. Murphy losing out to Blaz, and yeah, good read from Alamau. And G2 finally arrived here on Skyscraper. Much better round, clearing out the roamers, knowing full well that FearX are extending off site. Alamau just absolutely turns on the Jets. Now in towards site. He's already cleaned out. Oh, and it's a flawless round led by Alamau. G2 on the board here against FearX. That's a much better round.
Well, the Alamau lurk proves successful. Able to gather pretty early map control, and FearX not having a particularly great read as to where he was then positioning through the mid to late round.
Yeah, just better from G2. But I mean, to be fair, it's also still a lot of the same gameplay. Like, there wasn't much of a difference, right? It's still a little bit that disjointed. So you got a couple on the Geisha Makeup side, then Alamau just kind of goes solo over on the eastern side of the map.
If he died going for the lurk, exactly. the round is
like if he
very
flipped
different
it
outcome.
and Good Boy was watching for that lurk, gets the kill onto Alamau, that round just plays out entirely different. So, I mean, incredible skill for Alamau.
We're stating the obvious here, but...
Hey, that's what we do. That's our job.
But it's in stark contrast to their approach in a couple of the prior rounds, where they're very systematically looking to try and fight for specific map control. That time it was just, let's just send somebody in, try to crack open the site, and then others can look to form around that.
Yep.
Well, not even crack open the site, I mean crack open the map, and honestly that's sometimes the most difficult part about Skyscraper is just that initial entry.
Will there be a response from FearX? They don't want to be giving up too many rounds on the defense of Skyscraper. No matter the opponent, no matter maybe a difference in potential skill level, these are the rounds that they must acquire, as many of them as possible, because, being honest, FearX on the attack of Skyscraper, it's not going to be an easy task against G2. And to be fair, this is at least a site that you're not going to employ that roam as much. I don't think, you're going to have as much of an opportunity, G2, to play in the same way that they did in the previous round. They're going to have to do it quite differently. But Exothermic blowing up our
powerful,
PC.
Pretty powerful charge, gee whiz. We didn't crash there, so that's good.
Hearty mouth kind of stuff there for a moment.
Like this position from Murphy, up close, Warden shotgun. Be a challenge to clear with utility. Likely need to rely on a trade here. Coda, though, does find the first elsewhere. Laura falls. One of the two primary hard breaches. That being said, main wall already opened and exposed.
I mean, those are the peaks you probably don't have to go for now. You've gotten rid of Loira. You've got to play your advantage. Yeah, Coda went for it anyway, but...
You can go for a bit of pressure and shoulder peek, but you don't want to overextend.
I mean, you've got a good time. 90 seconds left, 5v4. At least some work has been done for G2 over towards the site. They haven't got a lot of map control, though.
Throwing frag.
And this is an entry. So Doki says, let's get things underway, but Gurmine's going to send him back out over onto the exterior. Coded has been in this position so many times before. Hits the shots onto Uno, but they only do so much damage. But some preemptive warning shots, that is a position that does still need to be cleared for G2. Noise made on the barbed wire. And Good Boy also just, again, that's almost like warning shot. And it just plays with the minds of G2 as to where do they find the entry.
I think they're just trying to buy their time a little bit on attack here and hope for an unforced error from FearX. That opportunity not really presenting itself, and with only 38 seconds on the clock, G2 will need to make their move.
Is it just a rush into the site now? It's a double stack actually over towards the terrace, and that stack does not work. It's the shotguns from Coded. Quick double to end that round. A 4-1 lead for FearX.
Yeah, the game plan there from G2, and I think it was caught pretty beautifully by the obs as we kind of tracked each individual attacker and had a look at what they were doing. Each player, each person trying to individually find their moment, make their play, and in the hope that that could cascade into others flooding the side and making a bit more space and forcing the retake. None of those plays kind of worked. We saw like the Doki Vault, that didn't quite work out. The breach continued to be contested from Coded, made that a challenge. Like so many areas of the map were contested well enough to FearX to the extent that there was pressure and control, but didn't overextend, didn't give away anything for free, and in doing so, able to pretty confidently confirm that round. And
Well,
so
this ends up being a
4-1
pretty big round because it's tertiary site. And when I think about Skyscraper, admittedly, 5-1's still not the end of the world for G2 because, again, FearX are probably going to struggle on the attack. But if it does get to 5-1, that's enough confidence, I think, right there for FearX that they can kind of have a couple of attacking rounds where they just throw some things at the dartboard and just see what works. Fast rush or, you know, map sweep, whatever it may be, that they don't have to play that kind of default attack. See if they can catch G2 off guard in just one round where it's like, and then you've gotten to 6 and then the pressure's right on G2. And again, G2 wagered the 2 bullets. They got more on the line here in comparison to FearX. FearX don't gain as much, but I will say this, guys. If you get to 9 bullets, FearX, after 2 days, you're in a very comfortable position going into the next couple. You got to remember, it's not about reaching a certain point. It's just about having the top 8 is just who's got the highest bullets. And 9, is that maybe good enough for a 7th or an 8th? We don't know, but it could be.
You can be a lot more, I think, conservative with your reloading going forward and maybe only present the 1 or 2 going forward.
Just gives you more room. Oh, that's a miss. Oh, that's a miss. Oh, that's a miss.
Shots 1 to 3.
Shots 1 to 3 clearly missed. Clearly shots 4 to 5. You lagged out. And 6, 7, and 8 didn't land because you're dead anyway. They did get the opening pick onto Mephi. Good boy though. Response onto Alamau. No more Docker beat. No logic bombs for the remainder of this round.
Blackbeard to see its first appearance. Dockerby as well here for this round.
Is in a very strange position over towards reception with the kit. Everyone else outside of the building. If Loro gets caught on from a roaming defender, that could be... yeah, look how close Good Boy is. Good Boy actually going to spot that drone as well. Loro does need to be careful because if Loro goes down, that's kit, that's information, a lot of time. You can play off of that. It becomes a 4v3. Ah, Loro's just better though against Rin. And Good Boy should have still been around the vicinity. Must have actually rotated off in a different direction. I'm not surprised. I'm not sure exactly why Rin actually made their way over. Good Boy does get that kill onto Loro. That's kid on the floor. I'm not sure if he's going to be fully aware of that. 60 seconds left, 3v3. Regardless if he's aware of it, GT need to go and reacquire the kit.
Yep. 60 on the clock. Information limited. Just the 3 primary drones available.
It's going to have to be Doki to go and get that.
Yeah, position's looking static. I mean, Blaz can come across and support, I presume, and that's what Doki's waiting for.
I don't imagine FearX, by the way, they're not playing the kit. They are very much playing back over towards site. I say that, and yeah, they are.
G2 are having to be so due diligent in clearing out these positions towards kit that
it's
not going to leave them much time.
Look at the way that Doki and Blaz are playing this right now. They're clearing out everything.
Because they have to. They don't have the info.
20 seconds left, and if you run through this doorway, Good Boy is posted up very nicely. The gas babe to kind of sort of maybe suggest that there might not be someone close.
And still one more in the pocket as well.
Yep, still one more. Uno over towards the window, in towards kitchen. This is going to be an absolute calamity for G2. They had no idea that Good Boy was hot in close angle on the doorway. And even though Doki does get that kill, he's got no time. He doesn't have the kit. It's 5-1 at the half for FearX against G2.
Nope, Dark fired up. The vibes are good in the FearX camp. A 5-1 half as we enter the second ban phase. Is it the second? Is it the third? I don't know how we want to frame it.
Technically, it's the third.
Technically the third.
Yeah, we have to come up with like distinctive names for these.
The round 7 ban phase, I suppose. That one's objective. Kaid and Bandit off the board, so no electricity in play. Double shield as well.
And you know what's interesting about it? We saw it on Clubhouse opening map. There was the response. It was like, okay, Kaid and Bandit got banned, but then we'll ban the hard breaches as well. So it's kind of like 2-pronged. In this case, it's the shield play. What this basically means, though, is for FearX, they should have no problems whatsoever getting any hard breach opened up. They don't actually bring any high breach right now, but that really should change because it's not Team Karaoke. So I imagine they'll switch things up.
Well, you posed it before, right? What's the FearX approach? They now have a little bit of a parachute to play around. It's not massive on a map like Skyscraper, so they do need to be careful. But I think the 5-1 gives them the license to maybe go for that aggro opening round. And we're going to see that with the repicks onto the Blitz. I was going to say the Amaru, but that gets picked off of. You also have the Glaz to potentially play around as well, the Smokes to catch a pick or two. So I'm intrigued to see, is this going to be rather direct from the Koreans, or is it... are those toolings going to be used for a little bit more of a clear? Keep in mind there is that Warden in play, of course, and so Doki will be a key player in this round, especially again if it is to be direct. Although he's currently stationed up over towards Drum, so a little bit disconnected from sight at the moment. And his rotation will likely indicate as to what the read is from G2 in this round. At the moment though, FearX posturing directly towards that Samurai window, and so we may see an early execute here. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think they have the lineup to be outside of the Blitz.
No, here we go.
The rest of them are going to wait for the smokes. There's the Nitro Cell, well read from Alamau. The Woogerman does go deep, but there's no one in towards Statue.
No one in support.
And yeah, now very...
Oh!
Doki's not watching though. Grim Bees go out, Flash is good, onto the Legion. Woogerman teaching them a lesson here on the Blitz and how to get entry in towards the site. Alamau trying to provide some cover from VIP. Blaz over in the same vicinity, so they're double stacked together, but they're in a 2v4 now. They have actually lost complete site control. FearX are in total control. This realistically should be 6-1 now from this position. You cannot be losing this round if you're FearX. The entries were beautiful, despite even the Nitro Cell from Alamau getting Mephi, which denied any play onto those smokes, but the Glaz Woogie gets the kick down, and FearX have got themselves 5 match points against G2. Well, I bet they wish they had to put 2 bullets in the chamber now.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't think many would have anticipated this result.
And it goes back, I said it, and then you kind of just brought it up at the beginning of this round. You get that 5-1 lead, and you can go for those kind of plays.
And it almost didn't work. I mean, we see...
Well, the initial... I thought when they got the Nitro Cell onto Mephi and the smokes have gone up, you've lost a lot of your firepower, but Woogieman gets so deep, Doki has no idea, free kill, and it goes even deeper, and gets another free kill onto the Legion with a quick blind, because again, he had no idea he's that deep.
Yeah, Woogie played that incredibly well. The double smoke coverage, and to then, you know, do the Stewie 2K and push through it as opposed to sit and stall where he would have been crunched and forced into the crossfire. Yeah, the smoke criminals that runs through. Understand, I mean, I don't think Doki's really that much at fault, right? If you don't hear it, you don't get the call, it's not on him. He's already through multiple layers of defense by that point, right?
10 seconds to go.
For G2, they will find themselves down to 3 bullets if they cannot bring back a 6-1 deficit to FearX, who, well, even if, right, this is the thing, I'm going to say this, even if, and I will hold this true, even if FearX somehow lose this game, they've still shown so much in such a short amount of time with their 2 new additions.
Oh.
Would be a disaster if they obviously lost it from here, but you can take so many positives from what you're seeing of this Korean team. Coded says, thank you very much. That's the easiest Nitro shot out ever. and that was the only Nitro cell. The question mark in chat from Coded to Alamau was not on my bingo card.
I think that was a pretty deserved question mark.
Getting bullied by Koreans.
Doesn't happen every day of the week.
How far has G2 fallen?
I'm going to write documentaries about this game. I'll tell you what, I feel like almost every game we've had, maybe bar 1, where we had the OT, has been just demolishing.
Yeah. We had some rapid games yesterday until the very last one. We've got 2 banging matchups, by the way, after this.
I hope we finish early today. We can go to the pool, watch the A stream. Good times.
A streams on what? Game 2?
Have they started game 2? I don't even know.
Doki posted up over towards Drum. No kills yet for Uno.
Oh, that was close.
Oh. Well, right
really
now,
close.
FearX can do no wrong. And they've got so much confidence. It's just flowing. Alamau had that 1 round. Well, I think he got a 4K. For White Rid down. Alamau, he's the one standing up despite the question mark earlier because of the missed Nitro Cell. Cadella's go out into effect from Mephi, and the falling now will be Alamel. He only got the one, but then done. Good boy goes down to Loira, and with that G2 advantage, but not for long. Trades continue to just flourish around the map, all the way down to a 2 versus 2 now. And honestly, that's a very small win for FearX, because there's 60 seconds. Coded is incredibly low, but Woogie is incredibly dangerous.
Well, he's engaged, so how does he cross and go for the plant? 2 flashes for Woogie to maybe play around?
I think they're just playing this very well. They're just kind of sitting and seeing what G2 and what the final 2 are going to do here defensively.
Yeah, they have the time to do so.
Logic Bomb as well, get a little bit of auditory information. I think also with Coded being so low, there's a bit of apprehension here for FearX, and yeah, as you said, so much time remaining.
I really hope Woogie uses these flashes. There we go.
Flash 1. One more. That one was very much ineffective. Coded getting into a position where he can start to stick the plant down, watching the cover. Will be Wookie man up close with players, but what a sick headshot from Wookie, and what a sick result this is turning out to be. Uno with 0 kills on the board so far, as FearX are about to 7-1 G2 here at Reload. Spots 1. You've got to get that. He cannot. They got nothing from this. G2 are down to 3 bullets remaining as FearX have got themselves up to 9 bullets. And what a trouncing result against the EU team.
And there's more BM in the chat.
There is more BM in the chat. Where is Benja? Look, says FearX.
Justified, right? 7-1. Complete dominance.
Oh, and it was a team performance again. We said it at the start of this show for this match, guys, that yesterday for FearX, it wasn't this one-man show. I know obviously Mephi was tremendous, but he had so much help yesterday against CAG, who, by the way, had a better scoreline than G2. 7-1. And it was again, team performance from FearX. That's the most pleasing thing. If you're G2, though, my goodness, not the start to this event that you wanted through the opening 2 days. Down to 3 bullets, and they wagered 2 in this.
Yeah. I mean, there's every world in which they are, like, really fighting for their life tomorrow, which is a position which I did not expect G2 to find themselves in.
They could be out tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And secondly, not off the back of FearX dominating them, right? Like, we know FearX are good. We had expectation on them to
Well, who does this say
perform,
more about, FearX or G2?
Elements of both for me.
I mean, you can obviously make a case for either or.
I think we definitely saw a better G2 yesterday, so it could just be the case of a BO1 off day. That can happen.
But 7-1?
Yeah, the reality is a 7-1 is quite devastating.
I think that's the biggest thing as well. And when you take into consideration, it was a 5-1 half. Yes, FearX started defense. Sky will give them that. But to then lose immediately 2 attacking rounds, or 2 defensive rounds to the attack, I mean, that's obviously even more damning as well. So for G2, I mean, where to from here? I mean, this is the thing. Do you just go for broke tomorrow? Do you just wager all 3 bullets and say, screw it, we may as well?
They will have the seeding advantage, I suppose, depending on where they actually line up. So they can actually do a bit of theory prep in who they want to actually take on and what the reload situation is going to be for them. But nonetheless, it's still uncomfortable.
Right now, though, whoever G2 pick might be pretty happy. We're going to a break. When we come back, by the way, we've got an absolute classic. FaZe W7M. Don't go too far.